Shalom Aleichem. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakadash Barakatam. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, bishops of Grimstone who rule well, to the Akim and Alquire throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on to this prophecy and testament for Lord Amashiach Yahweh Shai and sincerity and truth. This brother Menashe DC Camp. Another short lesson for the hopeful elect to better understand the events and prophecy. So we got on the screen the so-called Prime Minister of Moldova. And it's next door to Ukraine. And it's also so close to the conflict. You know, you got them worrying about Russia. So as you see on the screen, it says could Moldova be Russia's next target? Hey, everything is on the table for consideration, and it's a hard position for Moldova to be in because they can't really play the neutrality card, all right, and they're stuck. They want to go with the EU, but they gotta give up their sovereignty. If they're gonna go along with the EU plan, and that's what the drama is about, man. They want to go along with the EU, so that means they have to conform to the plans of the super elite that run the central banks. All right, Russia is it's not holding back any punches, man. And hey, they've gained a lot of ground in Ukraine, so it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Ukraine. The immigration problem has become a challenge for the neighboring countries: Hungary, Romania, Moldova, and you also got some Ukrainians, so-called Ukrainians, that are also in Russia. So that's an issue that has to be looked at. And it's not just those countries in the neighboring area of the conflict that have to deal with the immigration situation. It's going to be spread out to throughout the whole of Europe, even into America also, and Canada. So it's going to be rough, man. And the plan of these so-called elites, man, to have countries under their thumb and control is not something to just blink at and just turn the face away from. It's just the road towards World War III. So the book of Proverbs chapter 20 verse 18 says, "Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war." All right. So if Moldova goes along with the plan to join the EU, that's going to piss off Russia. All right. And if Moldova tries to maintain a neutral ground, it's still going to piss off the EU because the elites that control the EU, that control NATO, they want to expand as much as they can towards Russia. So whatever obstacle is going to be in their way is going to create some type of animosity. And the Russians are also nervous about that expansion too, that they have to get solid assurances from all these neighboring countries that looking at the EU as a option. So it's gonna be rough. So you can imagine if they decide to pull in, or let me say, go into Moldova, just like they did in Ukraine. So just imagine. Sweden and Norway, talking about NATO, EU, agreements and all that stuff. So it just shows you the conflict can take on a different turn in the arguments to prevent certain things from happening. All right, and it's rough. It's rough. These elites, man, they're very ruthless. All right. So you can imagine this prime minister going against the elites of the West. They're gonna have to make her life miserable. She's not gonna be looking chubby and fine and fresh like she like she once wanted to look like. They're just gonna put her on the blacklist. And whoever backs her up. So it's rough. It's rough. Being a leader in the so-called times like this, and the woman has no place being the leader of a country. So when they do things like this, it's just a system of manipulation to believe that women could ascend to a position of power, and they don't understand the repercussions. So it's that trick to have women go a certain way, think a certain way, and plan their lives a certain way. It's all the tricks of the devil, you know. So you can imagine what the Lord is gonna do to make an example of her, thinking she's on equal footing with men. So hey, eventually, man, the lesson will be learned. Okay. So the book of Jeremiah also lends some wisdom to this situation. Just like our people always want to go along with the agenda of the oppressors, you could also use that and look at this situation. So Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 33 says, "Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Thou," alright, "why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways." Alright. So when our people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, decide to go along with the agenda of these Edomite elites that run the world, they make themselves stooges, of their oppressors, and the Lord is just shaking his head at Jake, thinking they could escape the wrath of the enemy, meaning they're just fools, man, trying to get a quick fix, trying to pacify the enemy, but that's not gonna work. So by this woman trying to go along with the EU, she's trying to get favors, but at the same time, she's gonna make herself, make her country a target of Russia. All right, because when Russia understands that the so-called missile defense shield that NATO wants to put in Europe is not a good thing, especially in Poland, that can go south. And you see all that stuff when you watch all these video games, Call of Duty and all that. You see the storyline, and you understand that chaos happens, man. All these agents that go rogue. So it's not by accident. So it's gonna be a bitter experience, man. This is the road, to World War III, and alliances have to be formed. All right. Well, I mean, who's gonna be able to maintain neutrality, without offending a party or several parties, involved in the whole agenda, to start World War III. So that's the point they are here. So much going on that if you begin to peel back the layers of onion, you just see that it's terrible. So you can imagine if she decides to play neutral with the whole agenda, it's going to create a lot of financial difficulties for for her country. They're not going to get access to that pot from the IMF or World Bank and all that stuff, and all those guarantees that they want, you know. So you can imagine, man, they have a so-called secret embargo against their products on the market, you know, since they're not really part of the EU. So they're going to have to pay much more higher fees and all this for exports. So it's just so much, man. So much that goes into the situation that we can still look at. So that's the point there, Akim. The Lord Mashiach Yahushua Bashim Kakadash will continue to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to understand these situations, these events of wars and rumors of wars. Shalom.